G'day everyone, today we will be introducing you to the rabbit hole that is Hearts of Iron 4. This beginner's guide series is aimed at players like you who have never played the game before, with the goal of getting you up to speed on the basics of this incredible game and able to play and enjoy it without needing to ask Google every other minute. This video will be assuming that you're using the vanilla version of Hearts of Iron 4 with no mods or DLCs. If you're a beginner, you don't need those yet. Also, to start with, we'll cover single player only. The sweaty multiplayer min-maxing will be in another series. So, Hearts of Iron 4, or Hoi 4, is a grand strategy wargame. You take control of any country that was around just before the start of the Second World War, and your goal is to lead them to victory. The cool thing is you actually have quite a lot of freedom in how you do so, and there are two main paths that you can take in a playthrough. You can either play the game historically, just as events played out in World War II, or non-historically, where any number of random events can occur. And you can pretty much shape the world as you see fit. Have you ever wondered what would happen if Australia became fascist and joined the Axis? Or what if communists won the Second American Civil War? Now you can find out. Alrighty, so first things first, you'll actually need to purchase Hoi 4. You can do so directly from Paradox's website or through Steam. As a beginner, I would recommend holding off on buying any of the DLCs until you play for a bit and you're certain that you like the game. If you're familiar with other Paradox games, you would know that the cost of the DLCs can add up pretty quickly. One cool thing with this game though is if you know someone else who owns them all the DLCs, and you play with them in a multiplayer game where they host, you can actually try them out for free without having to purchase it yourself. However, if you're referring back to this guide later, or if you just have too much money to burn and you want to ignore me, the first DLCs you should buy are No Step Back, Man the Guns, La Resistance, and Waking the Tiger, in that order. These DLCs are the ones that add new gameplay mechanics to the game and are most worth it in my opinion. I'll have future guides covering these in more detail. In terms of the other DLCs, Battle for the Bosphorus, Death or Dishonor, and Together for Victory are the other main ones that you should get, and they overhaul particular nations' focus trees. The remaining DLCs are pretty much just cosmetic and not at all necessary, but they are a great way of supporting the devs if you do like the game. Also, you should definitely get the Anniversary Pack. It's free and it has some cool stuff in it. As I mentioned earlier, this and future guides will be talking about the base, vanilla, and mod-free version of Hoi 4. There is a huge and vibrant modding community for the game though, maybe it's even why you want to play. If that's what you're after though, I'm afraid I can't really help you. Most of my hours are put into the vanilla, or mods that are basically full overhauls of the game, and I'm by no means an expert on them. Cool, so you've either listened to me and bought the base game only, or completely ignored my advice and bought all the DLCs as well. So now I'll show you how to turn them off. When you go into Hoi in your Steam library and hit play, it will give you the option to boot the launcher or skip it and full send it into the game. So just open up the launcher for me by clicking here. Perfect, well done. Now you'll see on the left side of the launcher you've got a few different options there. Under home you can launch the game by hitting play, or go straight into your last saved game by clicking resume. It's right here. You can also see the news and blog posts from Paradox concerning the game. Ignore all of that and go through to the DLC tab and deselect everything. So make sure all of this is turned off. All of it. We'll come back to all of this later in future guides. Next, you can go down to the game settings, and there's a few different options here. So if you're having trouble with the game being unstable, try launching it in borderless full screen. That's the most stable for me personally, but if you still have issues, just try windowed, play around a bit. I always run the game on DirectX 11. I have no idea what the difference is between them, don't ask me how it works, but that's pretty standard, so just leave that as a default. And finally, if you scroll down to the Clear User Directory button, if you're having like further issues with it crashing or in-game stability or whatnot, try quitting Hearts of Iron, relaunching it, and clearing the directory and disabling all mods. It may or may not work, but it's worth a shot. Cool, so now, the moment you've all been waiting for, come through and launch Hearts of Iron by clicking play. Alrighty, great. Now, if you like, you can go into the options and change stuff around to suit your PC. If you have a potato, maybe turn down some of these settings. Hoi isn't very demanding, so you shouldn't have too much trouble running it on your old high school laptop from Year 9. Just play around a bit until it works. The only thing I would recommend is turning the UI scaling up. If you've got a larger PC, like a larger monitor, turn that up to 1.2 so it's a bit easy to see things. And if you change the mode to borderless, you don't have to Alt-Tab if you want to go to your second monitor. You know, if you want to change a song, message a friend on Discord, or hit like on this video and subscribe to HammoTimee on YouTube. Amazing. So now let's actually get you into a game. So just click into single player here. Pretend the tutorial button is John Cena and you can't see it. Trust me, it sucks. You don't want to do it. You don't want to waste your time with it. That's why you're watching this video after all. So just go through to new game, and here you can see the period that you wish to start in. 1939 is great if you want to just lick the stamp and send it into the largest conflict in human history, but we are gently introducing you to the game, so go ahead and select 1936 for me. Here the game suggests the 7 major nations that you can play as from the start. You can also click select country down here and choose literally anyone that existed at the time, which is probably one of the coolest features of the game in my opinion. For now though, just click on Italy for me. Down in the bottom right here, you can see the difficulty settings and game rules. So if you hover over them, you'll see some confusing buffs and debuffs, which they'll be meaningless to you right now. Don't worry too much about that. Feel free to pop it on civilian or recruit when you're starting out. Especially while you're learning. The game is a lot of trial and error, so don't feel bad about restarting a bunch of times or saving before you do an action which you're not sure what's going to happen. Speaking of, make sure you deselect Iron Man mode so you can save scum to your heart's content. And I like to leave the historical AI focuses on while you're learning, just so events occur a bit more consistently across the games. So this will make the game play out in pretty close alignment to what happened historically. Once all of that's done, you can click start. You may have also seen achievements here are disabled when you turn the difficulty down and turn Iron Man mode off. I would recommend playing for maybe 20 to 30 hours in the lower settings before cranking it up a little to regular to start achievement hunting, if you're so inclined. Alright, so that is the very basics of getting the game set up and ready to go. So the next video will cover the UI for the game and how to fight and win battles. Thanks to everyone for watching. If you've enjoyed this, it would help a lot if you left a like, and feel free to subscribe if you want to see when I post new videos. I also stream on Twitch, so please stop by and say g'day, and I'll see you in the next one.